You're listening to an ASCII Lounge podcast.
This is Talking Supply Chain, where we tackle the most important supply chain topics and trends with the industry's best and brightest.
Welcome back to the ASCII Lounge. Members, I'm Monique Fenech from Australasian Supply Chain Institute, and joining us on the ASCII Lounge today is Mareed Clancy and Martine Dines. Welcome, Martine and Mareed.
Thanks, Monique.
Thanks, Monique.
So today our topic is about salary surveys, and Robert Walters is an expert in producing international salary surveys. And so today, Mareed, who is the Manager for Strategic Client Engagement, and Martine, who's the Manager for Procurement, Supply Chain and Logistics, both from Robert Walters, will be helping us understand what that salary survey means for our members. Let me introduce these two to begin with so that you understand their expertise and why their opinion on the market is so valuable to our community. Mareed is in her 6th year at Robert Walters, 5 years experience in recruitment in the procurement industry, and more recently has taken on a new role as the lead client relationship manager for procurement across New South Wales, while also overseeing key client relationships across the wider New South Wales Robert Walters business. And as the lead client relationship manager for procurement, Mareed will lead executive lead searches and can provide market intelligence and salary benchmarking, such as this podcast interview, and advisory services for procurement teams in Sydney. Martine has been with Robert Walters for 4+ years and has focused on the supply chain and logistics industry at all levels, including executive levels. Throughout her time, she's developed her own brand alongside Robert Walters and well-established profile for her in this market. She understands the needs of a business with her market knowledge. She's a leader, recruiter in this field, and Martine has recently been promoted to Manager of Procurement, Supply Chain and Logistics, and leads a team of 3 specialist recruiters. So well done to you, Martine. So to start off with, my first question to you, Mareed, about market trends, because of course this is an annual survey, as I understand it, from 2019 and 2020. It'd be good to hear your thoughts on market trends and comparisons.
So I think from what we see, there are a lot of similarities across the 2019 market and our predictions for 2020 across both procurement and supply chain. Firstly, state-based major infrastructure projects across road and rail continue to drive the need for procurement and supply chain contractors, particularly with construction experience across government and public sector. Procurement and supply chain candidates with project management qualifications and experience to complement their procurement and supply chain background are highly sought after. Secondly, digital transformation projects and the need for upskilled candidates with ICT, ERP and automation experience are still very much in demand. And a major focus that we started to hear a lot about in 2019 was in relation to sustainability within supply chains, and a lot of emphasis on the Modern Slavery Act. With reporting due on the Modern Slavery Act this year, we've seen a significant demand for candidates with risk and governance expertise to sit within procurement and supply chain teams.
Great. It's good news for lots of opportunity there. And the annual salary increment expectations are what our members are really interested in hearing about as well. So Martine, can you give an overview of what changes we'll see?
Of course. So this is where we've got some good news. So the market is either staying the same in some areas, or we can see an increase for others for the year 2020. We can see little or no decrease in contract rate or permanent salary across the board. So when we look at the figures, we can see that 34% of the industry are getting around a 1 to 3% increase, while 33% of the industry are getting a 3 to 6% increase. So all of these increases are due to the major infrastructure projects that Mareed had mentioned, and that ongoing need for skilled candidates across technology and automation. There's around 15% of the industry staying at a similar salary level, such as a procurement director, procurement manager, supply chain manager across the board. So aside from the salary increments, hiring managers, they need to look at potential and existing talent and how they can, provide non-monetary reasons to work at their organisation. And some of these are flexible working, diversity, professional development, purpose beyond profit, such as sustainability, which is a big topic Maria has just mentioned, and working for a collaborative culture. So 34% of employees would move for a pay raise. However, there's still a rising percentage of employees that would move for other reasons, such as career progression, a work-life balance, and also a better company culture.
And how, and this question is for you, Marie, how do our members discuss a salary increase with their bosses?
So this time of year, Monique, it's a really popular time for salary reviews and discussions to happen. So our advice on that is the first thing really is to have a little bit of time to reflect and ask yourself the question, do you deserve a pay rise? You know, looking back, have you achieved and delivered on the targets that were set out for you? And are you performing? So I think it's just really important to, have a think about that before you go into a conversation with your boss around a salary increase. So secondly, arrange a time to speak with your boss in a professional environment. This is really important. So probably not the best idea to bring it up at the bar on a Friday or in the corridor. So set aside some time and book a meeting to have that conversation. And ahead of that meeting, I would definitely suggest just having prepared by reviewing the market rate for your role. So using tools like the salary survey that we're discussing today. There's lots of different salary calculators online as well. Just ensure that it's relevant, that you're looking at the state that you're working in, and just have your homework done. The other piece of advice that we would give on this is to highlight any changes in your role, any extra responsibilities that you could potentially take on that will contribute towards pay increase, and then to ensure that what you're asking for is reasonable. Remain professional throughout the conversation and even when the outcome is decided on that.
Fantastic. And Martine, can you share with us the top skills and jobs in demand?
Yes. So for us, we see there's not a major change in this area when we look at the top jobs in demand. It has been pretty consistent for us over the past couple of years. So those job titles would be an IT procurement manager or IT category manager, and also a marketing category manager, as well as a demand planner and analysts. These jobs seem to be pretty consistent from year on year. So when we look at the IT category managers, we're looking for people with experience in Ariba, Coupa, and SAP. Also those with software and licensing experience, with major enterprise vendors such as Microsoft or IBM. Another hot topic in that space would be cybersecurity. So all of these employees are very attractive. All of these candidates are very attractive to employers. If we look at the marketing category managers, we're looking for those with experience with digital media agencies, looking at product and loyalty programs, and experience with managing larger spend portfolios of around $200,000 are also highly sought after. When we look at the demand planning role, so this is consistent year on year within the supply chain space, with around 2% of year on year increase in salary. And this is highly linked to the skills in demand that a demand planner need to have, but also hiring managers often find it quite difficult to get the right combination of both analytical and technical skills with the stakeholder engagement and also strong communication skills. In terms of technology, so nowadays we have unlimited access to technology, which provides us with all of the reporting and analytical information that we need. However, we do see a need for procurement analysts, supply chain analysts, and logistics analysts. So these are candidates who can use the system, are able to feed through that information, and when that information is spit out of the systems, they're able to analyze that and communicate it back to the business in a way that can be understood. If we look at the skills that are in demand across these job titles, we would see a trend in ICT procurement, also integrated business planning or sales and operations. And then finally, most importantly, is to highlight the soft skills. So they're extremely important across our industry, such as stakeholder management skills, both internally and externally with suppliers. Without these soft skills, it's very, very difficult to secure a role in Sydney market across our space.
Yeah, you make a really good point there. There's a lot to take in, but certainly technical and soft skills are required for supply chain management roles. And so thank you. That's been a really good overview to begin with for the podcast. But listeners, if you wanted to drill down deeper, please reach out to Mareed or Martine by requesting a copy of the latest salary survey. Their details are in the details of this podcast, because it would be great for you to understand exactly what you are worth on the market and where you can grow this year. Certainly also having a membership with ASCI is an important part of your professional development, and we encourage that as well. Details are also in this podcast. Thank you for joining us, Mareed and Martine.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Monique.
And thanks, members, for listening in. We'll catch you next time. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening. Subscribe to our podcast today. For more information about our supply chain community, visit asci.org.au.